This video is about identities. We are going to talk about mathematical identities, and the root word identity comes from meaning the same. And so we are going to look at things that keep the numbers the same. In math, we have two main identities that we use. We have the additive identity and the multiplicative identity. Let's look at the additive identity first. So the additive identity is going to be a number, let's just start with the number 3, that we can add to any number and get our original number back always, always, and always. So let's say we have 3, we can add this identity to it and always get the number 3. If I take the number 5, I can add the same identity and always get the number 5. Now these two things should be the same, and then if I have -5, I should get -5. And what number can I always add and get the same number back? Well, that number is 0. And so the additive identity is 0, because any number plus 0 is equal to the original number. And we call that the additive identity. So that's what an additive identity is. And you can probably figure out what the multiplicative identity is. Well, the multiplicative identity is if I take a number, let's say 7, and I multiply it by something, and I want to get that number 7 back out. Or I could get the number 3.2 times that same something. What number could go in those boxes to make that always true? And again, these could be negative, and I would get -7. What number can I multiply by that does not change the value? That's right, you probably figured out that it's the number 1. So the number 1 is the multiplicative identity. So we know that we have the multiplicative identity, and that is 1, and the additive identity, and that is 0. And we remember that the multiplicative identity means we can multiply by that number, 1 in this case, and always end up with our starting number. And the additive identity is we can always add that number and start with any number, add the additive identity, and end up with the same original number. That's what identities are.